Welcome to Western Mass News Digital Edition. I'm Amanda Martin-Ryan. We begin with preparations being made ahead of the upcoming noreaster, which is making its way up the eastern coast this weekend. Although forecast models are trending towards the brunt of the storm to miss Western Mass, that's not stopping towns and cities from making sure they're prepared. Local DPW crews along with Eversource say multiple crews are on standby for any wind-related damage. If you do see any downed wires, be sure to call 911, and for a link to report power outages, you can find that on our website, westernmassnews.com. As day 10 of the government shutdown continues, effects are continuing to be felt here in the Bay State. Troops, FAA workers, and even Postal Service employees all are not getting their paychecks, including 45,000 people here in Massachusetts. The good news is that veteran health care, veteran benefits, burial services, the Board of Veterans Appeals, and veterans contact centers such as crisis lines are not being impacted. The government shutdown is also reducing the pay of some other federal employees. As for military personnel, they will miss their first paycheck on October 15th. Preventing cancer may become as simple as getting a shot from your doctor. UMass Amherst researchers say they've developed a vaccine preventing several different types of cancer in mice. UMass scientists say it teaches the immune system to recognize and attack cancer. Nearly all the vaccinated mice tested on stayed tumor-free even after being exposed to cancer cells and survived until the study ended at 250 days. However, all mice with traditional vaccines or who were unvaccinated got tumors, with all of them dying in less than 35 days. Another big takeaway was the tumor rejection rate after vaccinated mice were exposed to cancer. Those rates were 88% for pancreatic cancer, 75% for breast cancer, and 69% for melanoma. If you're a student at Springfield Technical Community College or Holyoke Community College, it may soon be easier to find a place to live. Through a partnership, new on-campus housing is now being offered on the Elms College campus for those students. With the new shared student agreement, students now can go to the Elms residence halls, dining, and fitness centers. Mega Millions jackpot has grown to roughly $575 million, and tonight is your chance to become a millionaire. If you are one of the winners and you hit the jackpot, they'll have a cash option of $264 million. Right now, this marks the 11th largest jackpot in Mega Millions history. The last ticket that hit was on June 27th for a $348 million jackpot on a ticket sold in Virginia. If you are considering getting a ticket, each Mega Millions is $5 and can be played in 45 states, Washington, D.C., and the U.S. Virgin Islands. I'm sure that includes us in Massachusetts. The drawing will take place at 11 tonight.
All right, going to get your ticket for sure. Weather-wise, it turned out to be, it is a nice day out there. After that cold start this morning, 20s for a lot of us, there was lots of frost and certainly that chill in the air, but readings have been coming up ever since, and now we're at 60 degrees. It might tack on another couple of degrees as we go into the afternoon. So really a brilliant day out there today, despite the fact that we had that cold start. 27 was the low at Westover, 29 in Westfield, 24 in Orange. We talked about the 20s, and that's where we ended up. We missed the record low for this morning of 26 degrees by 1 degree, but certainly we had several hours where temperatures below 32. So no doubt a ton of frost and a killing freeze for a lot of us. But temperatures have been on the move, and now we're in the upper 50s to near 60. And again, we'll tack on a couple more degrees. I don't think it'll be quite as chilly tonight. Readings will fall into the 30s. We get a few clouds mixing in. It'll actually bump back up to around 40, but we still can't rule out some frost north and west, especially across Franklin County, the hill towns, and the higher terrain. So it's going to be a nice evening. Of course, it'll be cooling off, so just make sure you, you have that thicker jacket if you're heading to one of the high school football games. Great football weather tonight for the games, but it'll just be a little chilly for the spectators. Just make sure you have the jackets good to go, the thicker jackets. Just a few clouds tonight. I think we'll find ourselves with a lot of 30s and lower 40s to start the day tomorrow, and a lot of high and mid-level clouds, but the sun should still shine through. Tomorrow's going to turn out to be a nice day. The best of the long weekend holiday, 68 degrees, sun and clouds, cool and pleasant. Still lots of questions with our coastal storm. It looks as though Sunday we may get through with not much rain, maybe late in the day the way we're looking at it now. Temperatures in the lower 60s. The breeze will start to pick up as the day goes on as well. We have high pressure that's battling this storm system off to the south. You can see this particular model keeps us dry all the way through Sunday. Other models do bring some rain in. So let's plan on showers late in the day on Sunday, and the best chance for rain will end up being on Monday. Hopefully we can get a decent amount of rain out of it. We certainly do. Not expecting damaging winds here in Western Mass. Winds will gust about 20, 30 miles per hour, maybe a little bit stronger. Certainly will be stronger along the shoreline. So this is Sunday afternoon. You can see that wind coming in out of the east-northeast. Lots of clouds. It'll be cool, and showers will be trying to work their way in during the afternoon. Winds may gust to about 20, 25 miles per hour as we go into Monday morning as well. Winds will gust up to 40 along the shoreline. And I think the wettest day will probably end up being Monday, with the best chance of rain on Monday. Beautiful tomorrow. Things start to go downhill as the clouds increase Sunday. We may get through most of the day with not much, then showers perhaps Sunday late, Sunday night, and then perhaps periods of rain on Monday before we dry things out as that storm system pushes out. So tonight, temperatures will cool off. Friday night frenzy, great for it. Clear skies, the beginning of the games, temps near 60 by the end of it. Temperatures in the upper 40s, clear, dry conditions, chilly conditions on average, 35 to 40. And maybe some isolated frost north and west. Beautiful day to kick off our long holiday weekend. And then Sunday, that breeze will freshen out of the east and northeast. A cool breeze, lots of clouds. Best chance of rain, coastal Connecticut, coastal Rhode Island. That'll try to work its way north. But again, it's bumping up against high pressure. So exactly how much rain we get will kind of be in question here. Anywhere from maybe a half an inch to as much as 2 inches. Hopefully we can squeeze out 2 inches. A good soaking would be a good thing here. And then we'll dry it out. Still breezy and cool with maybe a shower Tuesday into the middle and latter half of next week. Okay, that's your forecast. We'll see you at 4 o'clock. Amanda, back over to you.
Dan, thank you. An aviation academy in Wisconsin is helping kids reach new heights. The academy is named after Willa Brown, the first black woman to earn a pilot's license in the U.S. back in the 1930s. The academy gives underrepresented youth an introduction to aviation with a focus on women and people in color. On this day, 12 17-year-olds got a ground school experience topped with a 40-minute lesson in the sky. According to the Center for Aviation, only about 6% of pilots in the U.S. are women. Only about 3% of pilots identify as people of color, but those numbers have begun to climb the past few years. That's all the time we have for today. Thanks for watching today's Western Mass News Digital Edition, and be sure to tune in at Western Mass News at 4 on ABC 40 coming up very soon. Have a great day.